Hello fellow duelists, this is Shadow of the Moon, and today I'm going to be showing you a new deck profile on this channel exclusively, which is going to be my Agent / Fairy deck for the GOAT format. So if you don't know, this deck takes place in the GOAT format, which is in 2005, and it's just a lot of fun because you're actually using a lot of the old school Agent cards that came out in Ancient Sanctuary, which focuses on Sanctuary in the sky to kind of make sure that you don't take battle damage, and just has a lot of crazy effects, such as with Saturn, you've got Venus, you've got Mars, and it's just funny to see this deck actually work really well with a lot of the cards in the format. So without any further ado, let's go ahead and get straight on into it. I think you're really going to enjoy this. So first off, you're going to have 2 copies of Venus, the Agent of Judgment Venus. This is going to be your boss monster in the deck. It's very easy to bring out because you actually can swim the field with Venus in the Mystical Shines. Basically what it does is if you have a Sanctuary in the sky on the field, if you have more life points than your opponent, you contribute this card to do the difference in life points directly to your opponent, which makes it insane to be able to do direct damage. This deck is all about making sure that you have more life points than your opponent and making sure that you don't take any battle damage, so that way you can activate their effects. And then you've got 3 copies of the Agent of Creation Venus. This is one of the most important cards still in the deck, which will allow you to bring out the Mystical Shines for 500 life points per shine. And mainly, even if you're doing a lot of damage, you can still not have to worry about that. Then obviously your Mystical Shines. This is going to be your tribute fodder for the deck for the Judgment, and also for Airnight Parsaf. And then 2 copies of the Agent of Force Mars. This card can actually be searched out using can be searched out using Shining Angel, because it is 0 attack. And basically what it does is if you have Sanctuary in the sky on the field, whatever the differences in life points is going to be its attack. So if you have like 3,000 difference in life points, if you have more than your opponent or whatever, it's going to be 3,000 attack. So it's really awesome tech card. And then we're going to be playing 2 Airnight Parsaf in the deck. You're going to need 2 in the deck because honestly, this is, in my opinion, the perfect number. Airnight Parsaf will let you draw a card, you do battle damage to your opponent, and it's very easy to get out onto the field. Alright, so then we're going to be running triple Shining Angel. This is going to be your searcher for the deck. This is going to allow you to search for your cards to get your Shining Agent, and also to get your DD Warrior Lady that is going to be in the deck as well. Alright, and then we have 2 Absorbing Kit from the Sky. This gives you life points if you have Sanctuary in the sky on the field, obviously, but this is going to give you life points, and that's going to be very important in this deck. And then we've got 1 Medora, which, depending on how many fairy monsters you have in the deck, is going to increase its attack points. So this thing can become easily 2,800 if you have enough agents or enough fairies monster in the graveyard to be able to buff it up. Nice little tech card. Unfortunately, it cannot be searched out using Shining Angel because it is not a light type, but that is the only downside. And then 1 copy of DD Warrior Lady because it works really well with the deck. It's a light monster, it can be searched out, and can make it to where it can kind of get over any monster that it battles because it banishes it. Alright, so that's going to be it for the monsters. Let's move on to the spells. So first off, we've got 3 copies. I'm going to try to see if I can fix the mat here for you. So just be patient. Alright, so 3 copies of the Sanctuary in the Sky. This is the most important card in the deck, people. Cannot stress that enough. If you have any fairy type monsters, any battle damage that you receive will be 0, so they will not be able to do battle damage. It'll be the same thing as like a Wabaku. It's like a permanent Wabaku on the field, and it really is important in the deck. And then 2 copies of Terraforming. I was thinking about putting this at 3, but I didn't think that it would be the best option. I think 2 is perfect because 2 is still going to allow you to search for it. And it is the field spell. That is what you definitely need to get. And then 3 copies of Poison the Old Man. This is a nice little tech card in this deck because not only can you either get 1,200 points to gain 1,200 points, or you can just do 800 points of damage to your opponent, which can benefit either you, or you're mainly going to be shooting for the 1,200 life gain, so that way you can keep going and make sure that you have more life points than your opponent, which is the main strategy in the deck. And then 3 Celestus of Dago. This is going to be your equipped spell. Obviously equipped only to a fairy type monster. It gains at 500 attack, and if that inflict battle damage to your opponent, you can gain life points equal to the damage received or damage inflicted. So obviously this is going to help you out to gain more life points. Also is a very strong staple for fairy decks. And then we're going to be running 1 Giant, 1 MST, and 1 Heavy Storm. Obviously these are in here because you need, since you are not running Breaker, you're going to need this in the deck to be able to make sure that you can destroy your opponent's back row. And then obviously the Trinity, we're going to be running Pot of Greed, Delinquent Duo, and Graceful Charity. You're going to need those obviously in the deck always to be able to draw And then you're going to be running 1 Premature Burial. I do apologize for it being busted. It's a crease behind here, but it's a Premature Burial. This is going to help you bring back the monster that was in the graveyard if it gets destroyed. And then that's it for the spells. Let's move on to the traps. So obviously just 3 copies of Royal Decree. This card honestly is probably the best option in this deck. You do not run traps in this deck except for this. So it's very beneficial because it's going to stop your opponent from activating their Mirror Forces, their Cylinders, their Ring of Destructions, or whatever when you play it. And that's very important in this format. That's why I chose, this is going to be more of a fairy lock. It's more of a lockdown because you're going to make sure that you have more life points than your opponent. You're going to make sure you can't take battle damage, and you're going to make sure that you keep having the pressure on them. Alright, so that's going to be it for this deck profile. Hope you enjoyed it. This deck is a blast to be able to play with, honestly. I love it. Being able to just like go in and gain life points and see how cool and how far the agent support has come over the years. This was the first support that agents had. They were released in Ancient Sanctuary, and just you can really see the benefit and see how far they were going and everything. And I just love this deck 2 pieces. Alright, so that's going to be it for this deck profile. Hope you enjoy that, and with that, see you guys next time.